And welcome to this week's MLB Hot Topic, where Scott Miller joins me from the beautiful OC, where the Angels are atop the AL West. It's the Indians atop the AL Central. Scott, is the Central the best division in baseball?
I really think the American League Central is the best division in baseball, Amber. I don't think there's much question. In the past, you had the big heavyweights over from the American League East. The last decade or so, the Boston Red Sox and New York Yankees have spent a ton of money, and it showed on the field as they flexed their muscles. But now, with the Yankees floundering so much, after Boston, nobody in the American League East is at least coming out of the Memorial Day weekend is over 500. You got the Red Sox with the best record in baseball, and then you got everybody else under 500. The Cleveland Indians are for real, I think. They have the pitching to be for real. They're going to score a ton of runs. The Detroit Tigers, they're in a slump right now. They got, with Fernando Rodney and Joel Zumaya, the two relief pitchers on the disabled list. Once they get those guys back, I look for the Tigers to be every bit as good as they were last year. And Minnesota Twins finally hit 500. They're getting their pitching situation straightened out. They finally released Sidney Ponson, and Ramon Ortiz is going to go to the bullpen. And there are a couple of young guys to look for that may be in the rotation before the end of the year, including a kid named Kevin Slowey. And right now, Scott Baker's there. And the White Sox, I still think, are going to get their act together and make a good run.
Okay, Scott, and the Indians are in the middle of 10 games against the Red Sox and the Tigers. Cleveland was the hot pick in 2006 and again this year. Is their bullpen good enough to hold up?
I do think the Cleveland bullpen is good enough to keep the Indians in the race all season long. Mark Shapiro, the general manager, went out and got some veteran relievers last year. Joe Borowski, the closer, he's not knocking anybody's socks off. If you look at his ERA, it's 6+. But on the flip side, he's converted 17 of 19 save opportunities. That's been huge for Cleveland, and that's why they're in first place in the American League Central. A year ago, their bullpen just gave away one lead after another. Now Borowski's converting those saves, and along with him, you have a couple other veterans in the late innings that are coming in and stabilizing things. Roberto Hernandez and Aaron Foltz, and that is combining to really help the Indians. Their bullpen right now is 7th in the American League, 4.14 ERA. A year ago, they finished 11th in the American League. So, it's not a great improvement, but it is an improvement. And as I say, with Borowski in the late innings there in the 9th inning, he slammed the door way more often than not. And plus, I think the bullpen's going to be better as the season goes on because the Indians have so many good starting pitchers, from CC Sabathia to Cliff Lee to Jeremy Sowers to even surprising guys like Fausto Carmona, who are going to limit they're going to pitch a lot of innings and limit the innings the relievers are going to have to pitch.
Okay, and a lot's been made about how far back the Yanks are in the AL East, but it's not really their fault. The Red Sox have the best record in all of baseball. So, Scott, the Red Sox the best team in baseball?
Right now, I think Boston, no question, is the best team in baseball. They're so well balanced, and I think they're going to keep it that way. In addition to Manny Ramirez and David Ortiz, it's not just the Manny and David show this year. Their pitching is, as we've talked about persistently this season, with Schilling and Daisuke Matsuzaka and Josh Beckett, who's really having a fine season. They have the best, with those three, those are the best front three starters in any rotation, probably in baseball. And then aside from that, they have some really good pieces offensively. Kevin Youkilis, the first baseman, who once, after the book Moneyball came out, was known as the Greek god of walks. He's showing he can do a lot more than walk. 20-game hitting streak, 354 batting average, 4th in the American League right now. He's fit in really well. From J.D. Drew to Mike Lowell to the rookie second baseman, Dustin Pedroia. These Red Sox are really deep across the board, really talented. There are no weak spots, and it's going to be a lot of fun in New England this summer to see how far they can go.
All right, Scott, and Barry Bonds homered for the first time in 14 games. He's up to 746 now, so is it time to start talking about Barry again?
Amber, do we have to? Do we really have to talk about Barry Bonds? He's been so quiet, hardly homered at all in the past 2 weeks, and we just started to move into other subjects. Well, all right, I guess if we have to, but it's not time to start talking about Bonds quite yet. The 2-week drought has showed that he's really slowed his pace. Originally, the way he was hitting home runs, I figured that his pace, one-time pace, it would be mid-June to late June when he was going to blow past Hank Aaron. That's really slowed. Now it looks like it very well might be pushed into July. The thing that's been interesting about Bonds in his non-homer streak is he has just looked really, really off at the plate. He's taken third strikes that he normally wouldn't take. He's swung through pitches. He's been fooled on pitches, and he's really in a funk right now. And I think there's still no question he's going to get Hank Aaron, but I think we can maybe not talk quite so much about him, at least for a couple of more weeks.
All right, Scott, thanks. And thank you for watching MLB Hot Topic. For Scott Miller, I'm Amber Wilson.